Hi there, everybody, and welcome to another feature presentation of Cap Sports. Tonight, we're at Chandler Field in Duxbury for what could be a monumental high school boys soccer game. Tonight, the Duxbury Dragons battle Sandwich, and tonight, veteran coach Foster Cass of Duxbury goes for career win number 400. He's a 24-year veteran of high school soccer. He's had an illustrious career. His resume can match up against anybody in the entire country, but tonight, here on the South Shore, Duxbury battle Sandwich, as veteran coach Foster Cass goes for career win number 400. Cap Sports is pleased to be on hand. Once again, I'm Carl Pratt. I'll be working alongside Bill Wilhelm. Bill is known on the South Shore for working high school events on WATD radio, but Bill's also the JV soccer coach here in Duxbury. On the camera tonight, Harry Taylor. Stay with us. We'll take a quick time out. When we come back out to Chandler Field, we'll continue with our pregame activities.
I'm Bob Newmeyer from Channel 4 WBZ. You know, I've been lucky enough to cover Super Bowls, Celtic championship games, Stanley Cup finals, the whole ball of wax. But if you want to see a good high school game, tune in to Cap Sports.
Welcome back to Chandler Field, everybody, for tonight's Atlantic Coast matchup between the Duxbury Green Dragons and visiting Sandwich. Now I'm pleased to be joined by my broadcast partner, Bill Wilhelm, who we've crossed paths many times in the past, Bill, but tonight we hook up for a first event doing high school soccer.
I've been looking forward to it. I think most of the town of Duxbury has been looking forward to this event, too. Personally, Carl, I'm looking forward to working with you. I know we've done a couple of football games in the past, and they've always been great labors of love for me. I've enjoyed them.
Well, let's first of all talk about the situation. Obviously, this could be a major night as far as southeastern Massachusetts soccer is concerned on the personal side for Foster Cass. This is his 24th season coaching high school soccer. He comes in at 399 wins, 35 losses, and 27 ties. As I mentioned, his 24th year. You've had the pleasure of coaching for 20 years as the JV coach here.
Right, and it's been a labor of love there, too. I've really enjoyed working with Frosty. The other coach who has 400 wins in his career is a fellow by the name of Brock, who coaches Needham, but Don has 7 more years on Frosty. So if you think about it, Frosty's 400 wins, if he gets it tonight in 24 years, that's averaging almost 20 wins a season. That's pretty good.
Got some incredible numbers that we'll talk about throughout the cable cast here tonight, but let's first of all talk about the matchup. Duxbury comes in 3 wins and 1 tie. Their only tie was against Hingham. Meanwhile, Sandwich comes in 2-1 in the league, 2-2 overall.
Sandwich is a good team. They're known as a good passing team. Their coach is also a very nice man by the name of Tedeschi. They got some big defenders, too. It's going to take a lot of work to score on Sandwich. They're not going to give up any easy goals, I don't think. And if Duxbury can play their short passing game and get their shots off, Sandwich is famous for putting a lot of people in the box and trying to put a lot of trees in there. Try to scoring through those people is a little difficult at times.
Well, it's going to be interesting. We're looking forward to your insight as far as this cable cast is concerned, because you've seen many of these kids grow up and come up through the ranks.
I've had, I think, every player on the field for Duxbury has played for me, with the exception of Matty Murphy, who went right to the varsity as a freshman. He's one of our leading scorers. I should end up as one of the leading scorers in the league. Also, Tommy Lawless made the jump from freshman to varsity as a sophomore, as did Andy Taylor, too. There's 3 of them right there. But every other player, I think I've had at least for a while, either with the freshman program and certainly with the JVs. And they're a nice group of kids, too. There's, you get a group of 25 or 30 high school kids, you're going to get 5 or 10 wise guys. Not the case here. They're all really nice kids, and I must say Frosty is a disciplinarian. He's shaped these kids into fine young men, too.
Well, I'm looking forward to an interesting night of high school soccer here at Chandler Field. You ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, he's Bill Wilhelm. I'm Carl Pratt. Harry Taylor on the camera. Stay with us. We got the opening kick right after this.
I'm Mo Vaughn of the Boston Red Sox. You all know me as a professional ball player. It wasn't long ago that I played high school sports. If you want to catch high school sports, catch it with Carl Pratt on Sports Cap, on Cap Sports. Forget that one. I got to go.
Welcome back, everybody, to our coverage of Atlantic Coast soccer. Tonight here at Chandler Field in Duxbury, there's veteran coach Foster Cass. This could become a monumental evening in his long coaching career, and we can quickly run down some numbers. A 24-year career, we told you at the top, 399 wins, 35 losses, 27 ties. Bill, when we talk about the great run of Duxbury, 20 league championships, and they had a great run in the 70s to the 80s.
They sure did. I was really proud to be a part of that, as a small part as I was with the JV team. Frosty had a great era there, where they had, again, from 75 to 84 with the McAvoys, the Chandlers, and so forth, and they racked up championship after championship. championship, and it just built upon itself, and the momentum just carried them.
Duxbury has 6 state titles to their credit, their last one coming in 1988. They probably could have got a couple of more in the early 80s, but it was a different kind of format.
Yeah, there was no title one of those years. They had an Eastern Mass title, and that was the end of it. And then they changed it around a few times. We won the Eastern Mass, which probably would be the equivalent of the state title back then.
They have 10 Eastern Massachusetts championships to their credit, and we don't stop there, do we?
Well, the 12 sectional titles in Division II. Again, I wouldn't be real surprised if this team this year went a long ways as well. Again, these kids, they come out. It's not uncommon at Duxbury to look into the stands and see players who played during that era out here rooting them on. In fact, a little side note, the referees tonight are Michelangelo and Chandler. The other Chandler, Greg Chandler, ironically, is a very good official. His father was a former selectman here who had passed away. He is the Chandler they named this field after years ago, and Greg is one of the officials tonight. He also played soccer for Frosty years ago.
Okay, so let's take a look at the officials in the middle of the field as the starting lineups are being introduced. And one other quick note, because we'll certainly have a number of stats to pass your way. Which one is the Chandler fella now? On the right-hand side, that's Greg Chandler. His brother Peter played professional soccer and is currently an athletic director of a school out in Denver. That's Greg Chandler on the right. He lives in Duxbury. It's probably the only Duxbury game you'll have all year, because usually you don't get to do the games in the towns you live in. But it's awful fitting on this monumental evening, we hope. Absolutely. One other quick note. What about Foster Cass and his kids? Let's take a look at Duxbury's starting lineup being introduced now. Let's talk about Foster's 2 boys, Stephen and David. Both had nice careers in college. Yeah, Stephen was terrific. He was just a great natural soccer player. He knew where the net was. In the course of your lifetime, you run into maybe 3 or 4 kids who have the ability Stephen had. He could score almost anywhere on the field. Within like 30 yards. He always knew where the net was. He went on to Yale. He played there. And as we speak, he's in Egypt. He's teaching school over there and teaching soccer as well. Stephen's a great. He led the state in scoring, of course, too. Yep. And then, of course, David just graduated last year from Ohio State. He led Ohio State, the Buckeyes, in 3 out of his 4 years and led the team in scoring. Was also a captain there, so it goes a lot deeper than Dad. Oh, yeah, David carried on the tradition very well. I think David probably felt a lot of pressure as he was the last boy to come through, but he did a great job. He and, of course, and again, with the pressure of your dad being the coach, it's hard to estimate what pressure was on him going into the games, but he did a fine job as well. Okay, as we're looking at the Duxbury Dragons, let me quickly give you their starting lineup. Tonight's keeper will be Zach C. He's a second-year member of this team. He's a senior. Jim DeCoste, who number 1, is a junior. This is his 3rd year with the team. Greg DeCenzo will wear number 5. He's a senior. Andy Taylor's a senior. He'll wear number 8. Steve McClellan, number 12. It's his 2nd year with the program. He's a junior. John Show is number 13 tonight. He's a senior. It's his 3rd year with the team. He's also a captain. Tim Foley, number 14. Mark Williams, number 18. Mike Cook, number 20. Matt Murphy, number 21. And Tom Lawless, number 34. And quickly, here are the numbers as far as the Blue Knights of Sandwich are concerned. Number 3 will be Mike Garrity, a senior. Number 5, Matt Pistori, a junior. He wears number 5. Chip Lahane, number 6. He's a junior. Number 10, Sean Tedeschi. He's a senior. He's also the son of the coach. Right. Steve Alvezi, I should say, number 11. He's a junior. Gavin Coughlin, number 13, a junior. Corey Brown, number 17, a junior. Eric Burgund, a senior. He wears number 18. Pat Spiro, number 19. He's a sophomore. Sean Harrington, number 20, is a sophomore. Scott Bailey will be the keeper. He's a senior. Stay with us. Our coverage will continue from Chandler Field in just a bit.
Hi, I'm Dick Stockton of CBS. You know, high school sports are very important. You see some of the great competition when the high school athletes play, and a lot of the players you see in the big leagues all were stars in high school as well. Well, stay tuned to Cap Sports throughout whatever season it is for the high school game of the week.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're set for high school soccer. Visiting Sandwich will control the opening kick, and they'll be operating from left to right in Duxbury in their home white uniforms. Of course, will be going right to left. And Bill, one of the things we should point out is the elements. Mother Nature's going to have something to say with the outcome of this one, I would think. A very strong wind.
Absolutely. It can certainly be a big factor in soccer. Here goes Matty Murphy down the wing.
Matty coming down, number 21. Matty working hard in the corner, tries to send it out in front. It's knocked away by Sandwich, and I can tell you right off the top, these Sandwich numbers are going to be tough to pick up.
How about impossible?
There you go. It's a good thing to call. But the field seems to be in terrific shape, considering so little rain that we've gotten here on the South Shore.
Absolutely. We've gotten some rain the last day or two, but it's a little bit slippery, but it really is pretty good conditions.
Sandwich will put the ball in play, and a nice hit that time by number 8 on the Duxbury side, Andy Taylor, a senior. This is his 3rd year with the team.
Yeah, Andy's a big kid, and getting him to play aggressively is one of the keys to Duxbury's success. That time he went through, beat his man to the ball, and sent it down into the Sandwich end. Nice play.
Action right in front of the Duxbury bench. Tim Foley, number 14, being a bit of a pesky opponent to the Sandwich player.
Yeah, Timmy Foley, if he gets the ball and plays his game, it makes a big, big difference in how Duxbury looks overall in the course of the evening. He can control the ball game.
This is the 4th game of the season for the Green Dragons. They opened up with a 9-0 victory against Rockland, defeated Middleborough 13-4, had a 1-1 draw with Hingham. That was somewhat of a surprise. And they shut out Dennis Yarmouth in the most recent trip to the field 6-0.
A big collision there. That was Greg DeCenzo flying into the Sandwich player. Greg, very, very steady player. Excellent baseball and basketball player as well. 3-sport standout at Duxbury. It'll be Sandwich kick from their own territory.
A lively crowd here at Duxbury. A pretty good turnout for this high school game, and a tremendous boot going down the other way by Sandwich. Now number 5 for Duxbury, Greg DeCenzo, trying to get control. It's knocked away. He gets up from the turf, and DeCenzo will have control in the near corner, and he sends it right back upfield to Matt Murphy.
And one of the big stories on Greg DeCenzo was he was a kid. He kicked a 45-yard field goal in youth football. And the big question was, will he play soccer or football by the time he got to the high school level? And he's been playing ever since he was a freshman.
One of the things that we should point out, I noticed that when I did the Plymouth High School football game, rather soccer game the other night against Weymouth, those boys have tremendous strength in those legs, and there's an awful lot of football coaches that would like to see them put pads on at least 1 day a week.
Oh yeah, DeCenzo, he's deadly from 35, 40 yards out.
Duxbury with an opportunity. This is Show, number 13. He stays with it, but Sandwich is there to try to clear it away. A lot of congestion in front. The bodies seem to be bundling up. And there's a shot in on the Sandwich keeper. That is Scott Bailey, a senior.
Yeah, Johnny Show is all over the field. He's very steady as a stopper back. He's one of the really fine natural athletes I ever had in the JV program, and he's just carried it on. He's not the biggest kid on the field, but many, many times he's the toughest, and certainly a big, big factor in the defense of Duxbury. Number 13, Johnny Show.
And this looks like number 12, Steve McClellan. Now he drops it off to 13, Johnny Show, who you just talked about.
Yeah, I think I'll let Johnny throw it in. He can do it all. He can throw. He's a guard on the basketball team. He's just a real fine natural athlete. Fine young man, too. Good team player. Here's the throw right in front of the net.
And it's going to be a Duxbury goal. I think that's Steve McClellan.
It might have been McClellan or Murphy. I couldn't tell who got the head on that. It might have been McClellan, too. But right off the throw, Johnny, for people out there listening, try that at home sometime. Take a ball, take a golf ball, try to throw it halfway across that field. It's not easy. Take a soccer ball, throw it with 2 hands on a set play like that, and I think I just heard a big sigh of relief come from the man in the striped jacket down there, Frosty Cass. Getting that first goal is so big.
And it didn't take Duxbury long at the 36-12 mark, so essentially 3 minutes and 48 seconds into this soccer game, the Green Dragons have jumped on top.
A nice goal for Stevie McClellan, too.
Steve McClellan for the Duxbury Dragons is a junior. This is his 2nd year with the varsity. And as you mentioned, Bill, it's going to be a big sigh of relief. You wonder what type of pressure the players might have put themselves under, knowing and I'm sure even for Frosty, get this 400th win out of the way, and then let's start focusing on each opponent.
Sure, I mean, a lot of attention. A lot of the Boston area TV stations and papers have been focusing on Duxbury for the last couple of weeks now, knowing number 400 was on the horizon. Here goes Timmy Foley controlling, trying to send it out to the wing to Murphy. There's Matty, number 21. Long ball looking for a breakaway.
And the keeper comes way out and sends it back the other way. Nice play that time by Scott Bailey to clear the area.
Yep.
Duxbury tries to get control, and it'll be a throw-in for Sandwich. And we apologize, but as we mentioned at the top, it may be easier for you to see it on the replay here in the monitor, but it's difficult for us to pick up those numbers.
I'll tell you, Frosty's done such a great job coaching. I mean, I've had the distinct pleasure of coaching with him for all these years, and you see the methodical way he goes about doing things. That he's got a way he wants things to go, and then the kids either toe the mark or they suffer the consequences. And he really develops a team year in and year out. And to his detractors, they would say, oh, well, he's had great talent to work with over the years. I've seen him take teams that really had no business being in state championships, and they've won state championships solely through his work.
Ball knocked around. Nice play that time by Cook, and the ball goes out of bounds on the near side. Number 2 right there for Duxbury. Paul Sylvia has come into the ball game. No, I'm sorry, that's not 2. That's 21. Matt Murphy, who started the game. No subs just yet.
They're about the same size. They're easy to mix the two up.
A lot of contact in front. Duxbury trying to fight for that ball. Nice hit by number 5, Greg DeCenzo. One of the things we should point out, we obviously can't pick it up on the monitor because the ball moves so swiftly, but we get to see it with the natural eye. That ball is wet, Bill. There's a lot of dew on the grass, and you know, that can make it a bit difficult to get control and do what you really want to do with it.
Absolutely. You got to remember, these are 16-year-old kids, 17-year-old kids out there. You get a little bit of a slippery effect to that ball, and anything can happen.
Eric Burgund will have the kick now for Sandwich. He gets away about a 40-yard boot downfield, and a little contact out there.
Johnny Show is not a stranger to contact.
And the Dragons come back quickly. 34, Tom Lawless is on the far side.
Tommy Lawless, of all the people on the field, I think is probably the biggest surprise in my view. He jumped right from the freshman to the varsity and really didn't miss a beat. He really stepped up his game and has played right with these guys.
Interesting, when you look over the impressive numbers of Foster Cass and the Duxbury soccer program on the boys varsity level, 399 wins in 24 years. I asked him last night, what's the most losses you had in a season? He said 5 back in 1985, and ironically enough, it was the only year Duxbury competed in Division I.
Right, with the North Quincy's and the Bedfords and all those guys. Yep, and yet he probably would say, if you asked him, he probably had some of his best players even back then with the McAvoys and the Chandlers and so forth.
We'll have a substitution momentarily. Number 16 up off the bench. That is Brent Caesar, only a sophomore.
Yeah, Brent moved to town last year from Virginia and moved right up to the varsity and has done a fine job.
Not too bad when you come up here to the South Shore and you move to the Northeast and you get involved with the best soccer program here on southeastern Massachusetts and one of the best in the entire state.
Yeah, assuming Brent doesn't move or something else again, I think you'll be hearing his name a lot next year too. He's a good player. He plays Frosty's style real well too, this passing game that you see going on out there.
A lot of unselfishness on the Duxbury side as we see number 20 for the Dragons, Mike Cook, send it down the right lane. Steve McClellan, who has the game's only goal, tries to work against his Sandwich opponent, number 3, Mike Garrity. Let me remind you, you're watching a feature presentation of Cap Sports along with Bill Wilhelm and Harry Taylor. I'm Carl Pratt, glad to be out here at Chandler Field for what we hope will be a monumental evening as far as Duxbury soccer and on the personal side, Foster Cass is concerned. And you can see it right in the screen, right in the middle of the screen. 400th is put right out there, and that tells it all, doesn't it?
It does, and I know Carol's not the one who put it up there. 400 wins. You think about the enormity of doing that in only 24 years. That's incredible.
I thought I heard an official's whistle, but apparently not. Here's an opportunity in close by Sandwich. Let's pick up the fellow that took the shot. I think it was Sean Harrington, but the Duxbury keeper, Zach C., was right on top of the play. And you know, Bill, you do enough high school sports and talk about professional athletes on a regular basis. We got to get our all-name team, and I think for my first opportunity, Zach C. fits the bill, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, he does. Hey, on an ability level, too. He's just liable to be an all-league goaltender by the time this year's over, too. That's a nice heads-up play by the young man, diving on the ball. Not afraid to sacrifice his body. He's come a long ways, too. Made a big jump from freshman to varsity.
We've got 30 minutes and 27 seconds remaining here in half number 1. Duxbury 1, Sandwich nothing.
And Johnny Show getting up there to head that ball away. John's only about 5'9" or so, but he gets over people because he's got jumping ability and just sheer determination.
Oh, great play that time by Tim Foley, showing some great athleticism. Never missed a beat and tried to tap it right around his head.
Yep, the Foleys have contributed 3 or 4 players now to the program. Going back to Joe, now Timmy. And of course, Mike was one of the captains a year or 2 ago. Did a good job up front.
Matt Murphy, number 21, and 34, Tom Lawless. Let's take a look at Coach Frosty Cash just to the right of us, right there.
Jimmy DeCoste, number 1, did a nice job defensively there, that time getting his head on the ball, just deflected away.
DeCenzo gets beat on the right side. Sandwich with an opportunity to bring the ball downfield. 13, Johnny Show battling in the corner against Sandwich, and it will be Duxbury's ball going the other way.
Yeah, one trademark of the Frosty Cast teams over the years is the way these players overlap, and that's what they did there defensively. They'll get back. Here comes Matty. Here's Murphy.
We got a 2-on-2 situation. Pass goes back to Steve McClellan. McClellan feeds it back to Murphy.
Goal.
Murphy coming in, and just wide. A great opportunity for Duxbury once again here at the 28:50 mark. All right, we've got an opportunity to take a break here from Chandler Field in Duxbury. Our count, Duxbury 1, Sandwich nothing. Stay with us.
Hello, this is John Miller with the Baltimore Orioles and also ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. I remember when I was in high school, I used to take my tape recorder around. I'd broadcast all the high school games. I'd sit in the bleachers at the Oakland Coliseum, broadcasting A's games into my tape recorder. That's where I got my start, just like a lot of these ball players. They started playing in high school. You may see some of the big leaguers of the futures. Guys will be right here at Fenway Park when you stay with Cap Sports. Right here.
Play back in, and we've got a head ball that time by DeCenzo. And again, there's the tricky footwork of Foley, and the goalkeeper, the keeper for Sandwich, Scott Bailey, comes out to knock it away.
He's played a good game himself back there.
And you know, Bill, knowing what's the situation at hand, I'm sure all the Sandwich players are aware of it, and they want to play the role of the spoiler here tonight. And not only that, add to their regular season where they got a nice mark to this point of 2-2. And when we talk about Sandwich, 1 seems to be the magic number anytime they've been involved. They have a 5-1 victory against DY, 3-1 against Sandwich, and then a couple of losses in there.
Yeah, well, the loss to Cohasset 2-1 was a surprise. A 4-1 loss to Marshfield is not a surprise. The Marshfield team's very, very good. And you look at these scores and you try to get a feel of how these teams are. Duxbury beat DY 6-0 yesterday. Sandwich beat them 5-1, so they're comparable.
And you turn around and talk about this Sandwich team. They're under the direction of Ted Tedeschi, and Ted's certainly been around the program a long time. 6th year with the varsity, but it goes deeper than that.
Yeah, I coached against Ted for about 15 years. He's a great guy and a good friend. It's nice to, that's the nice thing about sports. You meet a lot of people that you carry on friendships with for a long, long time. 22 years overall also for Ted, huh? He's been around for a long time.
Oh, there goes a shot off the face of one of the Sandwich players, but he alertly gets right back up. You don't have time to sit there and nurse your injuries, unfortunately.
No timeouts in this game.
If that's backyard soccer, he would have taken his ball and gone home.
Absolutely.
When we talk about Sandwich, just to enlighten you a bit on their program, they are starting 8 players in tonight's game that'll come back next year.
Wow. Yeah, Ted's done a good job down there.
And the interest is growing down there, Bill. They had 59 players out for all 3 teams at Sandwich, so that's encouraging.
I was going to say, prior to the varsity games, we had a very physical game with their JV team, and they got some kids that are going to be coming up and can play. They really played very physical. The JV's won 4-zip, but it was really a very even game.
And your JV record to date?
Well, we're 4-0. I don't know what. Now, here we go. Oh, just behind Matty Murphy. Nice play by Lawless.
Murphy trying to tricky dribble a little bit, sends it in with the left hand.
I don't know what the career record is, but
one. Okay, play back in, a lot of contact right around the front of the net, and this effort by Duxbury goes just wide. They seem to be bunching up a lot, about 15 to 20 feet away from the goal.
Yeah, Sandwich is known for just piling a lot of people in front of the net. It's very frustrating to try to score when you've got that many defenders against you down there.
Just a reminder, Duxbury leads at 1-0. At the 36-12 mark, Steve McClellan has scored. And you'll have to abreast me a little bit, Bill. Do we say 36-12 or do we say 3:48?
Oh, either way. It's 1-0. That's the main thing.
There you go. Roughly 4 minutes into this game, McClellan scored, and the play all started with a nice effort by John Show.
Yep, Johnny's a great all-around athlete. He really makes things happen out here. Here's a scoring opportunity coming up here.
Another chance for Duxbury, but a great play once again by the keeper, Scott Bailey. He's a senior, and he's playing like a seasoned veteran.
He is. He's having a sensational game out there tonight. He's really kept Sandwich in the game. Given a couple of breaks here, this could be 3 or 4-0. He's really played a sensational game in net.
Now we have an official's whistle right down in front of us.
Yeah, I think Andy Taylor bumped into the Sandwich boy, and the official decided, let's give Sandwich a chance to play, so.
We'll have another substitution for Duxbury momentarily up off the bench. Number 20, Mike Cook, will be returning into the ball game. He was one of the original starters. Now streaking up the left side is number 9 for the Dragons, Rob Paul.
Yeah, Robbie's coming real strong since the beginning of double sessions this year.
Lead pass to Foley. Foley right into the back of number 19 on the Sandwich side. That is Pat Spiro, only a sophomore. 24 minutes straight up to go here in the first half. We hope you're enjoying our coverage of high school soccer. Duxbury 1 and Sandwich nothing. Now we have an official's whistle as we see 21 Matt Murphy. This is his 4th year with the team, and it's as good as this program has been. It's still quite rare to have somebody be a varsity member for 4 years.
Yeah, he stepped right in as a freshman. He couldn't have weighed 110 pounds back then, and he was not afraid of the contact. Suffered a real bad broken leg, and almost a shot on net. I was going to say, Matty's came off a leg injury his freshman year. I think it was the sophomore year. I hope I'm getting these years correct. He really took a solid hit to the face in the state championship game against, I think it was Neshoba out at Worcester Polytech. I was afraid he was going to lose an eye. He took a blast from a big kid from Neshoba, and the ball didn't travel 10 yards. He really took a solid shot, put him out for the game. But he's back and he's playing. He'll make a good college player too.
Nice boot by Sandwich, came all the way down. There was a battle between Show and Sean Harrington of Sandwich, and it went off the head of Show.
Yeah, Frosty's asking the kids on the bench, now why did John do that? Why did he turn his head and head that ball out of bounds?
If anything, it slows the play down and it gives that Duxbury defense a chance to regroup.
Yeah, you want Johnny Show on the field as much as you can. He's not going to hurt you.
They try to come back the other way. Foley again knocks it down. Mike Cook tries to send it to the right, and Mike with a little extra mustard on his foot.
Frosty's now going to make a change. I think he's going to see Jimmy Manganello come in. He'll probably go in for Mr. Cook.
Let's go to the bench here and pick up number 15 right down in front of us. Jim Manganiello, as you mentioned, Bill, he's a junior. He'll be coming in our next stoppage in play.
Yeah, I think he'll be replacing Mike Cook. Jimmy's had 2 brothers come through the program too. Mark, who's one of the leading scorers at Clark University now. And his other brother also played varsity about a year or 2 ago as a fullback. Mike.
This is Cook with the ball for Duxbury, working down the left side. He'll center the ball in front. Nice try, but number 6 is right there for the Blue Knights of Sandwich, Chip Lahane. He's a junior.
Let's take nothing away from Sandwich here. They're the underdog in the game, but they're playing well. If somebody told them they're supposed to lose this game, no one's told these 11 kids on the field.
The interesting thing, and not to take anything away from Sandwich, I think emotion can only take you so far. Eventually, talent will take over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's certainly not to downgrade either side, but it works only for so long, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, soccer especially, you've really got to run the whole game. Another nice play by the keeper from Sandwich. Nice trap by Manganello. He really has great skills with the ball. So does his older brother, Mark.
Murphy tries to lean it forward, and a little touch pass by 34 Lawless. Nice job to direct that ball to his teammate. But Sandwich is right there to clear it. And now it's a 2-on-2 situation developing into a 2-on-4, and a good effort on the far side, I think by 18, Mark Williams.
Yeah, Mark did a good job coming back. His older brother, Kevin, played that same position for the varsity here not too many years ago. He's out at Notre Dame now. There's Johnny Show and Greg DeCenzo showing that great burst of speed, hustling back to help out Jimmy DeCoste on defense for the fullbacks. There's Foley trying to send a wing down the right side. That would be Caesar. Manganello off to Foley.
Foley, here's a lead pass coming down to Murphy. Murphy coming in, and a great sliding play by number 6, Chip Lahane. And I'll tell you, if you're a fan of high school soccer, you like that no matter who does it.
That was, I can appreciate that play as well.
Any youngsters watching our program should back up the videotape and watch that 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Bill, let's get into the town a little bit. What type of youth soccer program do they have in Duxbury? What type of feeder program?
Well, they've got the Coastals. They've got the South Shore United team, which has a number of players around it. There's this. I don't know if this youth program is stronger now than it was, say, 10 years ago. But the one thing that a lot of people would say is that we've got a lot of players that come through the youth programs to help Frosty and myself at the junior varsity level, which we do now. But in defense of Frosty, he was winning games, 20 games a year back before there was a youth program. So Yeah, there's a nice youth program now. We get a lot of kids now that know all the skills, and they've gone to Frosty's camp and other camps to pick up those skills in the summer. And the player of today is considerably different than the player of 10 years ago, or even 20, or even 5 years ago.
Greg DeCenzo actually right there on top of the ball, sends it very high in the air, and Lawless tries to head it forward. And once again, we've got an opportunity for Murphy, and Murphy's looking for help from the official, isn't Coach Cass is looking at the official as if to say, what's that? Murphy's had ample opportunity going down the sideline, but good defense from the Sandwich side by number 6, Chip Lahane, who's marking him well.
Yeah, they've done a pretty good job on Murphy, but you can't keep giving him chances. They're not going to keep making one sensational play. Look at him, Show, run him down.
Tremendous speed there. He came from about 15 yards behind the play. For a moment there, it looked like Sandwich would have had a 2-on-1, but that opportunity was hampered immediately by the effort of Show.
And going back to Matty Murphy, Sandwich has made one great defensive play after another on him, but if you give him 10 opportunities, he's going to put 9 shots on the net, and you know, you're going to have to do something to stop him. If he keeps getting these opportunities, he's going to score 2 or 3 goals before it's over.
This is Corey Brown. Corey swings it to the left, and right away, Duxbury showing some great skills, using the head and getting it away. And here's Murphy again, once again. And now Murphy will have a great chance coming in one-on-one. He tries to tricky dribble past the goalie, and he does just that. Bill Wilhelm mentioned it a moment ago, and at the 18-minute mark, number 21 of the Duxbury Dragons, senior captain Matt Murphy, has capitalized, and the Dragons are now up 2-0.
Now Frosty will be quick to point out, if he could see the tape, about the play of Andy Taylor down here. Andy's one of Frosty's pet projects. Andy, one of the bigger kids on the team, came through to head that ball, get out of the defensive end, and all of a sudden Duxbury's back on the offense. There's Matty Murphy, number 21 now. Just a great kid. He loves the game of soccer. He's one of those kids, not only is he good, he's good for the game.
Okay, let me remind you, you're watching a feature presentation of Cap Sports. Our coverage will continue from Chandler Field in just a bit. Just a reminder, it's 2-0, Duxbury on top.
Hi, I'm Dick Lutz, host of Sports Call on WRKO. I got my start doing high school sports in New England. High school sports are a great source of entertainment for sports fans of all ages. You can catch the high school game of the week on Cap Sports every week. Make sure you don't miss it.
Welcome back, everybody, to Chandler Field. Duxbury is now boosted as its advantage to 2-0. Timing's everything. Here we're talking about Mr. Murphy, and you're saying you're giving that opportunity, he'll capitalize, and it certainly worked out there.
Yep.
There's another opportunity. Lawless streaking down the right side. Won't get control as the keeper does the wise thing and kicks it out of bounds. Also there for Duxbury was 16. That's Brent Caesar, the sophomore we spoke about earlier, the transfer student.
Yeah, he's going to do a fine job here. He already has done a fine job for Duxbury. I look forward to big things for Brent next couple of years. Also going in the ball game now, number 12, Stevie McClellan had the first goal. Steve's got a real strong left foot. And I had Stevie on JVs. He is one tough kid. And he's really developed his game. He's a lot of finesse now that he didn't have when he was a younger player.
Well, that was an interesting play there. They sent it towards the middle of the field, and a lot of people sat back, and Duxbury waited for Sandwich to get it. Sandwich waited for Duxbury to get it.
Yeah, that was not by design.
Good job that time, I believe, by Show.
What was it Joe Paterno said? They'll judge whether or not you're a great coach or not by what a 16 or 18-year-old kid will do with a football in front of 80,000 people, right?
It's funny, there's certain people, you take those quotes in good stock, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Another lead effort. This is Lawless, Tom Lawless coming in. He tries to tricky his way around the Sandwich defender, and boy, Chip Lahane, only a junior, is playing a strong game for Sandwich.
Yep. I'll tell you, Sandwich is not playing a bad game at all. They've had some sensational plays by the defense, but Frosty's methodical offense is really kind of wearing them down. I don't know about you, Carl. I've always thought whoever scores the third goal first will win the game.
That's the way I've felt. It's always been the most important score. Sandwich scores, it's 2-1, they're right back in it. Duxbury scores, and now Sandwich has to change their whole game plan and their tactic.
Yep.
Looking back to this Duxbury team, I spoke with Coach Foster Cass prior to the game. He told me he has 8 returning starters. This is a very offensive team. He has excellent forwards. His only concern right now, his team is not finishing well, he says.
Yeah. Well, as we see tonight, we've had, we being Duxbury, they've had probably 8 or 10 scoring opportunities and only 2 on the board. I don't fault the Duxbury team. I credit the Sandwich team for their defense so far.
This could be a 3-on-1.
I was going to say, if he didn't make that trap right there, that was a goal. Even though it was in midfield. Heads up. Here we go. Here goes Murphy again. Nice play by Sandwich.
Yeah, that's not number 6 who we saw earlier. That's number 18 now, Eric
Here we go.
Burgund.
Oh, offside.
That's Eric Burgund back there right now.
And that was Timmy Foley that time. If this had been Timmy Foley who played on the JV team for me, he would have held the ball, made 5 dribbles, and somebody would have eventually taken it away. Now he's played on the Frosty system. He gets the ball, 1 touches out to the wing to Matty Murphy, and we almost had a breakaway again.
A couple of fellas waiting to come into the game. Number 9, Rob Paul, the senior for Duxbury, and number 12, Mike Anderson, a midfielder for the Sandwich Blue Knights. Sandwich, by the way, is captained by Eric Burgund, Mike Garrity, and Sean Tedeschi. And, you know, we talked at the top about the pleasure Foster must have had coaching his 2 sons who had great careers. Tedeschi has that opportunity to coach his son, and once again, 21 coming in for Duxbury and laying it in the net for his 2nd goal of the night. Matt Murphy at the 14:29 mark, and boy, you saw the experience there. He never panicked and just directed the ball in.
He's like having 3 or 4 extra players out there. He's just a real solid, steady player, and he can do it all. And I'll tell you, if you'd seen the injury he had taken against Neshoba in that state tournament, you'd wonder if he'd ever played again. Then coming off that leg injury, it's great to see him out there. He's just a nice kid, and he's played so well. Matty Murphy, number 21.
Well, he's happy to get his 2 goals. You could see him point to the coach and say, hey, I need a blow, and let's look right into the middle of the field, because he was replaced out there by number 19 coming into the game.
That's Mark Gammons. Mark with the aerodynamically sound haircut.
I'm glad you knew. Here's the benefit of having Bill Wilhelm alongside, because Coach Foster Cass didn't give me any 19s last night. Mark Gammons I had listed as number 11.
And Mark's older brothers, one of which is now the JV coach at Marshfield, and his other brother, Greg, all played for Frosty and did a great job. Greg was one of the leading scorers along with Mike Foley. They were captains together. Here we go. Look out.
12 is McClellan looking for his 2nd goal of the game, and at the 14:07 mark, Scott Bailey is right there to deny the opportunity.
Mr. Bailey's seen a lot of shots already in the first part of this first half.
He sure has. Here's Gammons.
Whoa!
And Gammons takes a little contact there, and actually almost got sandwiched by Sandwich.
Yes, he did. That was a Mark didn't want to mess up that hairdo there, but going for the head, and he paid the price.
DeCenzo will have the kick here for Duxbury. Duxbury leads at 3-0. We've got 13.5 minutes to go here in the first half.
And we talk about Matty Murphy being the equivalent of having 2 or 3 players out there. Greg DeCenzo's the same way. He and Johnny Show and Jimmy DeCoste, they're like having like extra players back there. They do so many things. An extra coach on the field. Again, Greg DeCenzo, outstanding young man, plays very, very well on the left side. Strong leg, continually doing the job down there. You never see him get beat down this side of the field.
One of the things we should point out, you can't tell at home, of course, but there's a pretty strong cross breeze going, and that has a lot to do and a lot to say about where these kicks come from and where they're going.
Oh, yeah. In the case of Duxbury, well, I know other coaches, too. If you have a pretty good offensive team, you get a strong wind, you want to try to keep that ball on the ground and control as much as you possibly can. There's Bruno Zoltowski just coming by. Son was a goaltender over here, and another son played the center halfback.
We've got an opportunity to take a break here from Chandler Field. We've got 13 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the first half. Along with Bill Wilhelm and Harry Taylor, I'm Carl Pratt. We hope you're enjoying our coverage of Atlantic Coast Soccer. Duxbury 3, Sandwich nothing. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Craig Mustard. And I'm Tom Doyle. And we're the Doyle and Mustard Show on Sports Radio WEEI. And you know, Tom, we just love high school sports. And there's only one place to catch all the high school action.
That's right, on Cap Sports. Every week in Plymouth, keep on carving, all in that area there.
All down there, you know, and the one guy that has all the highlights and all the latest developments in high school sports, Carl Pratt. As a matter of fact, let's go courtside right now and check it out.
Okay, thank you, Carl. Ow.
There was some talk Frosty was toying, I know, with maybe moving Jimmy to a halfback this year. And Jimmy could actually play almost anywhere on the field. He's done a great job at fullback.
Sandwich sends it into the corner. Nice play by 15, and 11 picked up the ball. Let's pick those up. That's Andrew Fitzgerald. He did a nice job there to direct that in the corner using his head. And his teammate, Steve Alvezi, the forward, was right there to pick it up, but we'll go back the other way.
Yeah, remember, Sandwich is playing on the road. They're not used to playing on this field, so anytime they do something very, very well, it's even more to their credit.
There's a battle in the corner. Number 12 was Mike Anderson of Sandwich, run off the play by 13. Of course, that's Show for Duxbury.
He just does that time and time again. Johnny's one of those kids you can send into a pile of 15 people who'll come out with the ball every time.
But the officials call, and this will go against Duxbury. We'll have a kick coming up here for Sandwich.
An unintentional contact just outside the box, so it'll be a Sandwich kick, but it's one of those calls that, well, I suppose they have to make it.
This will be their best opportunity of the night, I do believe, and let's see if the Duxbury defenders in front will start to inch toward the kicker. Everybody's circling around. Right into the pile of players, and it comes right back to Sean Tedeschi. Right in front.
Ooh.
Great opportunity for Sandwich, but the shot went just wide, deflected wide. And now the ball sent right back upfield in a hurry.
DeCenzo with that left foot just sent that thing out there 50 yards.
He needed his entire strength working against the wind, but the fella for Sandwich, number 18, that's Eric Burgon, just kind of tapped the ball, and with the wind at his back, it went back the other 50.
Yep. Mark Gammons and Jimmy Manganello are coming out, and a couple of substitutions. Lawless is up front with Caesar and McClellan. Foley's out there with Taylor and Mike Cook at the halfbacks. Fullbacks are the same.
Steve McClellan, number 12, with some fancy footwork. It's a 2-on-2 situation. 15 is Manganello.
Yeah, that Tommy Lawless just got tripped up there. I think he was looking for a call from the official, but there was none.
There's a 4-on-4 situation developing.
Johnny Show again, right back there.
Sandwich tries to send it down. Right in front of us is Mike Cook. Mike sends it way up in the air, give us an opportunity to see a real wet ball.
Michael is so big and so strong. And when he takes the ball and starts to charge down the field, you almost feel like drafting effect of the wind behind him.
Andy Taylor has the ball right now. Let's get a good close-up of Andy. He's a senior. This is his third year with the team. There's a good look at Andy right in the middle of the screen. He's got some good-sized build for high school soccer.
He does. He's a very nice, gentle personality, but you get him out there in the field, when he harnesses that strength that he has, he really can become a force out there. Of course, come tournament time, Duxbury's going to need him to be a little bit intense to maintain their, the overall team intensity in there. Look at Johnny Show. Boy.
You know, he doesn't even get his head on the ball all the time or get any part of his body on the ball, but he causes some traffic distraction.
Exactly. Yeah, well put, Carl. That's really what Johnny does best, I think.
16 for Duxbury, Brent Caesar. And once again, Taylor will have a throw in for Duxbury. Caesar's right there. Little game of give and go with Tim Foley. Sandwich tries to clear it away. It goes right back to DeCenzo. This is Cook. Oh, nice soft lead pass to DeCenzo.
Yeah, Williams had to beat his man to the ball that time. Whoops, here we go. There's Johnny Show, breaking it up.
DeCoste was also there. But as you mentioned, the quickness of Show, he probably whispered to his teammate, I got it, and he cleared the way. We've got 6:50 to go here in the first half. Atlantic Coast Soccer coming your way. Duxbury 3 and visiting Sandwich nothing. Our first goal of the game, Steve McClellan. John Show got an assist. And then we had goals by Matt Murphy at the 18-minute mark and the 14:29 mark.
I was noticing that Johnny Show, he was kind of, we're going to have a penalty on the other side of the field. There would be Sandwich ball. Johnny Show was going, oh, darn, I didn't get that ball because he wanted to get an assist. He thought he saw a man breaking through, give him a through ball to go up and shoot and score. One trademark of the Frosty Cast teams over the years is they're competitive. The kids are always competitive. Once that game starts, they are into it. You very seldom see a Frosty Cast team come out flat. And I'll tell you, it's not, if they ever do, it's not his fault. He puts everything he's got into getting that team up for these games.
Well, I think one of the things is the
Here we go.
great tradition. Here comes 18, Williams coming in, and he's going to get a score.
Caesar.
I'm sorry, 16, Caesar.
Right.
Number 16, Brent Caesar, the sophomore, at the 5:52 mark. A little bit of contact with the keeper on the Sandwich side, Scott Bailey. But that's another goal for Duxbury. Brent Caesar, the sophomore.
So many times over the years, Frosty cast teams, I've seen it from the sidelines, I've seen it from broadcasting. You see a loose ball like that. If the other team's defense doesn't clear the ball, if they leave that ball up for grabs, he's got snipers coming through. That was excellently played that time by Caesar. And I can't tell you how often Frosty practices that, the breakaway play where the goaltender and the forward go one-on-one. And it was just a sensational play that time by Caesar. And then this kid from Sandwich is playing a great game.
Duxbury now leads it comfortably 4-0, and if you're just joining us, we're heading towards a monumental evening for veteran coach Foster Cass. There's a lead pass for Caesar once again. A nice feed in that time by Jim
Manganella,
and nice soft feet he displayed there. He didn't rush his play, he just dumped it over the defender.
Yep. You hate to play against a team like Duxbury, or at least I do. If you see a team that can control the ball that well and continually set up their forwards for opportunities, it just makes for a long evening.
Manganella shooting in. He's actually 1-on-3. He may not win this opportunity.
No, this one may end up in the trees over there.
Yeah, every so often you are outmanned.
Yeah.
Getting back to what you said earlier about the kids giving 100%, that's not only a credit to Foster Cass and the Duxbury program, but a credit to the kids. They recognize it's an honor, and there's a certain amount of pride that goes with wearing a Duxbury soccer jersey.
Absolutely. I'll tell you a quick story. I see the Millers down here, Andy and Danny Miller standing with Debbie Brooks down here. A lot of former players out here tonight who were all part of some of those previous 400 wins. I was in Cleveland the night that Roger Clemens made his debut for the Red Sox, and I was wearing a Duxbury jacket. And a guy comes over to me and says, "Hey, how's that Duxbury soccer team?" This is in Cleveland, Ohio. So whenever Roger was a rookie, whatever, was it about 1985, maybe something like that?
84, 85, I thought it was it.
So, people who know Duxbury may know they have nice coastlines and nice houses or whatever, but more people, I think first of Duxbury as being a soccer power. And I think you owe an awful lot of that to Frosty's reign. Here's the soccer coach. He's done a tremendous job.
Time ticking away here in the first half, 4 minutes and 10 seconds and counting. As Cook tries to go for the ball, and it goes out of bounds, and Sandwich will take it back the other way. Let's take a look at the Duxbury bench right down in front. 21 and 34 having a conversation. Two boys who have contributed greatly to our count right now. 21 being Matt Murphy. He has 2 goals to his credit. And Tom Lawless, both boys captains, of course. They'll have a lot of memories by the time their varsity careers are over. Zach C. comes up and touches the ball. We talked about Zach right at the top, and we haven't had an opportunity to mention his name too often. His teammates in front have done a good job to keep that ball away from him.
All things being the same, I'm sure Frosty would just not, he wouldn't mind if Zach never touched the ball. Meaning that the ball will always be at the other team's end of the field.
Why don't you swing a little bit to the, well, play's going to come right back in. When we get an opportunity, check out this crowd. 3 minutes and 10 seconds and counting as we see Show with a head ball going back the other way. Another head ball. That was by 18 Mark Williams. And there's the contact you spoke of earlier. Show's not afraid to mix it up.
No, Johnny doesn't lose many of those one-on-ones.
And it's a clean way of making contact.
Oh, yeah. And Frosty wouldn't allow anything but.
Tim Foley hit the turf. Sandwich controlling here. Coming up once again, Greg DeCenzo. This is Cook. Very patiently sends it forward. Sandwich knocks it back the other way, but there's Show. Sandwich has never had an opportunity to really gear it up and get going.
No, the rhythm keeps getting broken up by good defensive play in the middle of the field, either by a halfback or a fullback for Duxbury.
You almost want to feel that if Sandwich scores, it's going to be on a Duxbury mistake.
I would agree. If they are, it's going to be because somebody falls down or somebody gets caught too far upfield.
And again, you got to keep emphasizing, I want to anyways, it's not because Sandwich isn't trying or they're not a good team. It's just that Duxbury seems to be a big match and a bigger match here tonight for the Sandwich Blue Knights.
Yep, it's tough coming into Duxbury and to take on a team that's had this kind of tradition.
Certainly worth mentioning, 6 state titles. Boy, from 81 to 84, they went 72 straight without a loss or a tie. 88 and 89, they had 41 straight games without a loss. This season, they're 3 wins and a tie. They opened up with a 9-0 victory against Rockland. defeated Middleborough 13-4, had a 1-1 draw with Hingham. Hingham actually came back and tied Duxbury in that game, and it's interesting season so far for Hingham. If our fans aren't aware, Hingham has a record of 1 win and 3 ties.
Yeah. They're a well-coached team, and they keep that score low. And in the Duxbury game, I think Duxbury outshot them about 20-10. But the game of soccer, you can do that and end up in a tie all the time.
That always falls into the heading of not winning the battle, but winning the war.
Right, exactly.
The leading scorers for the Green Dragons so far this season, needless to say, Matt Murphy. Tom Lawless is the other leading scorer. We don't have the official numbers, but that comes direct from the man who should know, head coach Foster Cass. 4-0, Duxbury leads it with time ticking away here in the first half. Tracking the ball down in the corner was Steve Alvisi. And here he will have a throw in. Sean Tedeschi is right around that ball. Sean with a strong left foot, and it gets headed out of there by Duxbury.
Here's Mike Cook sending the ball down. It's looking for another break, and here comes that. I believe that's Mangan. No, I'm sorry, Brett Caesar again.
Yeah, it's Caesar again. Right in front. Here's an opportunity, and a shot goes wide for number 15, Jim Manganello. I'm thankful there aren't too many tough names on this Duxbury side. It's just a matter of getting used to them. All right, let's take a look at the Dragons because we've reached the midway point here in tonight's game. There goes Foster Cass right in the middle of your screen.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Victory 400, it seems to be only 40 minutes away, but hopefully we won't be jinxing the situation. Let's take a look at the scoreboard clock here at Chandler Field. As we head to the break, count is Duxbury 4, visiting Sandwich nothing. Stay with us. We'll have some halftime activities right after this.
How you doing, everybody? I'm Eric Clemens of Channel 7, formerly of ESPN. I've been all over the country and all around Boston covering mostly professional sports, but some of my fondest memories come from covering the high school sports around the Chicagoland area. I saw stars like Mark Aguirre and Isaiah Thomas perform in high school, and if you want to do the same and see some future stars perform, catch the high school game of the week with Carl Pratt on Cap Sports. Do that for me, won't you? Thanks.
Welcome back, everybody, to our halftime activities. Once again, I'm Carl Pratt along with Bill Wilhelm. The Duxbury Green Dragons hosting Sandwich here tonight in Atlantic Coast Soccer, and right now Duxbury's in control at 4-0, and we've seen Matt Murphy lead the way.
Matty Murphy is just a great natural soccer player, and as we're speaking, Carl, Frosty Cass has the team on the other side of the field where that's been the scene of many an inspirational halftime talk over the years. Just as anybody who's come through the program, he really has a way of getting you refocused on your job for the second half. But Murphy's had a great first half. Just as you and I said, he was about to break it open. He scored a goal, and if they don't put a lid on him, he's going to get 2 or 3 more.
4 minutes into the game, McClellan got things started with Duxbury's first goal.
Stephen McClellan's done a good job for Duxbury. Frosty's worked hard with him, and Stevie was really kind of an undisciplined player when I had him. He had a strong left foot and didn't do much with his right foot. Now he's become a very complete player. He's really become a good all-around soccer player, much to the credit of Frosty.
And goal number 4 tonight for the Duxbury Dragons came off the foot of Brent Caesar.
Again, we mentioned Brent Caesar moved to town last year as a freshman, stepped right in. There was some question, should he play JV or varsity? Stepped right up and didn't miss a beat, played varsity, and he's really contributed this year, as they expect him to do big things for the next 2 years. He's a real fine player, nice young man, very quiet, which I think is probably true of most of the players. They're very soft-spoken kids, but they know their jobs, and they play Frosty's system well.
We're only 40 minutes away from a monumental night out here at Chandler Field in Duxbury. Foster Cass going for career win number 400.
Oh, I couldn't be happier for him. Again, when you think about it, in 24 years, that's averaging 18, 20 wins a game. I don't care where you play or who you coach. That's an incredible feat. And to have done it year in and year out. I've seen him do it with teams that a lot of people wouldn't have given, or I didn't give him a chance to win 10 games. And he won 18, 20 games with some kids in some years. And other years, he's taken the team and had to harness all that talent together.
All right, he's Bill Wilhelm. I'm Carl Pratt. Harry Taylor on the camera. We hope you're enjoying this feature presentation of Cap Sports. Once again, in high school soccer action tonight at the break, Duxbury 4, visiting Sandwich nothing. Our coverage will continue, so stay with us.
I'm Channel 56 Sports Director Michael Barkan. I cover the U.S. Open for USA Network. I've been to the Olympics, covered that for CBS Sports. But you know, one thing very special to me, when I'm around the Plymouth area, I always watch the game of the week on Cap Sports.
Oh,
Okay, welcome back, everybody, to our coverage of high school soccer here at Chandler Field. Duxbury leading 4-0 here in the early stages of the second half. Of course, we're trying to preserve and hold on here for Foster Cass's 400th career win. The Duxbury Green Dragons in their home white uniforms trimmed in green, and visiting Sandwich on hand here tonight. They're under the direction of their veteran coach, Mr. Tedesco. And you know, it took the people at home, Bill, can't appreciate it because of the magic of video, but the coach from Sandwich kept these kids on the sidelines for a long time. And what do you suppose he was saying to them?
Well, he's probably saying to them that, you know, they cannot allow one more goal. I mean, 5 goals is almost impossible to come back and beat a team like a Duxbury under the lights at their field. That they can ill afford to allow anything else offensively. The goaltender has played a sensational game, and yet they're still down by 4 goals, so I don't know. One of the really nice things about doing games here at Duxbury broadcasting-wise is the valet service they have, and the free the food and the Burke Show's limousine service. It's really excellent. Can we get a comment from Burke Show real quick, you think? Burke, what do you think of the first half?
Oh, fantastic. It's really great to be here. It's great. Hopefully we're going to get the 400th, Bill, and we really thank you guys for coming and making this a very momentous day. Thank you very much. Couldn't ask for anything better.
It's beautiful tonight. Thank you, Burke. Okay. Yeah, I think if I were Coach Tedesco at the half, I think I'd be forming the wagons in a circle, Carl.
Well, you got a situation here. You want the kids to play strong and keep working hard. There's a long season to go, not to lose focus, and come back here and keep it respectable.
Yeah. Tell you the other thing, too, you got to remember these teams play each other twice during the year. If Sandwich comes up here and gets beat by a big score, and they know Duxbury's coming down there to play them the second time out, the second time they come down to play, you know right away when Duxbury gets off the bus, they're up 2 or 3 goals. You know, if they take a sound beating up here. By the same token, you don't want to run up a score because the coaches do have respect for each other and they want to keep things you know, respectable. And because again, they're sportsmen above all else too. Here comes Johnny. Hey, Burke, where does Johnny get that jumping ability? He's out jumping kids down there taller than him.
Got it from his dad from Indiana.
Okay. Here goes Johnny on the throw. They scored off this play in the first half. Ooh.
Good effort that time by the Sandwich netminder. Once again, we're going to talk about the keeper from Sandwich, Scott Bailey, who's done yeoman's work in the net. Sometimes a 4-0 score can be misleading, it can be deceiving, but that young man has done a nice job for Sandwich. We've played 3 minutes here in the second half, Duxbury 4, and visiting Sandwich 0.
I don't know if Burke Show's going to remember this. When I first met him, I saw him over at the practice field, and I said, your son's going to play JV soccer this year as a freshman. Not many people do that. I think he's one of the best natural athletes I'd seen in a long, long time. Remember that, Burke?
Oh, you bet. You bet. And you did a nice job, Bill.
Well, hey, it's hard not to do a good job with a kid like Johnny Show. He's done a tremendous job for Duxbury, and not only soccer, basketball as well.
On the far side, we see a lot of competition between Sandwich and Duxbury. Mike Cook on the Duxbury side battling hard. Now the throw comes back down the other way. And we've got that situation once again in the corner where Mike Cook keeps battling and being a pesky soccer player. Sandwich will take it back going the other way. This is Lawless, 34 for Duxbury. Try to get control, sends it right out in front.
Andy Taylor just couldn't quite find the handle on it.
Now we'll have a tripping call against Duxbury, and it looks like number 8 on the Duxbury side, Andy Taylor, saying, who, me?
Yeah, Andy giving the international sign for I didn't touch him.
Couldn't have been any more clear, could it?
All right, you see that in the football field, too. The hands upraised, you know, the eyes glazed. I didn't touch him.
Taylor right around that ball now. It actually went past him. Mark Williams is there, along with 14 goalie. Is a lead pass coming down to McClellan. Looking for his second goal, and this one's going to go just wide of keeper Scott Bailey.
Now, if that had been Stephen McClellan as a freshman, he would have wound up with his left foot and kicked that thing about 50 yards over the goalpost. Now he's playing Frosty style, where these shots have to end up on net. He knew he had to do exactly that in order to end up with an opportunity. I think we have a goal, Carl. I think the ball crossed the plane. I think we have a goal. And I think they have to give it to Michael Cook off the corner kick. We'll see what the official call is on this thing, but I think that thing ended up crossing the plane. Tell you, Frosty works it over and over and over again. The corner kicks, the throw-ins from the side, and it just eventually wears teams down.
I'm not sure. Like you said, it'll be interesting to see who will get credit for it. I think I saw the official going 2-1. That if he did that, that would mean Matt Murphy, but let's wait and see. At any rate, at the 34-45 mark, the advantage has been pushed to 5-0. That's the only disadvantage I'm not too fond of doing high school soccer. You never really know who to give the credit to at times like this, and you don't get a lot of help.
Hey, Carl, I've coached the game for 20 years. I see goals scored out there, and I still wonder sometimes who touched it last. You have to ask when you come to the sideline.
And then you get about 12 kids saying, oh, I got it.
Oh, yeah, they all assisted on it anyway.
Again, we have the officials call.
And once again, Andy Taylor didn't touch him.
Ball goes down into the corner, and 18 is right there for the Dragons. Mark Williams.
Duxbury, 5-0.
Nice play by Sandwich trying to keep that ball in there, but didn't.
He sure did, because Jim DeCoste was sitting there saying nobody's going to catch up to it. But
yep.
Let's pick up the Duxbury cheerleaders right down in front of us if we get the opportunity. They've been as much a part of this success as the players themselves. That little extra incentive coming from the sidelines and spirit.
Here goes Murphy, look out.
Going for the hat trick, and he may get it. Let's see. No, it goes just that couldn't have gone wide by more than the width of the ball.
Oh.
Murphy's
no,
coming back.
It went in. It went in and went under the net. It went through the net on the side of the post. Goal, Murphy. The ball went under the net on the other side. Oh, boy. That's a good call by the referee, Mr. Michelangelo, on the other side. He was right there on top of the plate. He saw the ball go under the net. So it did, in fact, go in the corner. Two of the stranger goals you're going to see the rest of the year. We've seen them in the last 2 minutes here. Not that I'm a great prognosticator of these things, but I said that if they didn't put 5 or 6 guys to cover Matty Murphy, he would eventually get 3 or 4 goals, and they did.
Oh,
I think he's got 3 now, huh?
That's his third, and I'll tell you, boy, even with the naked eye, we're not that far away. It didn't even look like it went in. Looked like the keeper was right on top of it. It is now 6-0, the Dragons on top.
I think I just saw Brian Wycall go by. Brian played center halfback here for Frosty not too long ago. Another outstanding member of the Duxbury sports community, another family that's produced a couple of players, Scotty and Brian.
Duxbury can feel it now, and I think they really want to deliver the knockout punch. These last 2 goals were certainly, you know, gifted shots, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
But when you're a good team, you get those type of goals.
That's true. Good point, Carl. It wasn't like the balls at the other end of the field. They set them up.
Here's Murphy once again.
Look at him battling.
Yeah,
3 kids around the ball. He came away with it.
And he stayed with it. You know, he never gave up on the ball, and that was.
There he goes. Look out.
Nice little give and go. Murphy with an opportunity in close. Front. He feeds to his teammate. A lot of unselfishness there. Lawless is going to be the beneficiary of some unselfish play by Murphy. And boy, in the first 8 minutes here of the second half, Duxbury has another score. It is now 7-0. Lawless scores the goal.
I hope Frosty considers making a demonstration tape of how the game of soccer is supposed to be played, because they put on a clinic here to start the second half here. Now you're going to see a lot of new names out here. Eric Harrington's coming in off the bench. Robbie Paul's coming in as Murphy, Taylor, Lawless, McClellan come off. And Morgan Barber, number 25, is going to go in and play right fullback. He's only a freshman. And Robbie Paul's at left full. Timmy Foley's at, looks like stopper. No, he's staying at center half. Johnny Show at stopper. And Jimmy DeCoste. Craig DeCenzo comes off. Mark Gammons is now at the center forward, or center striker, if you will, with Paul Sylvia on right wing, and here's Manganello on the left wing, Mike Cook at the left halfback. So I see a few new faces out there.
All they're doing is making my job a little bit harder, isn't he? That's all he's doing.
Don't you love it in the football season when all of a sudden you see completely brand new uniforms out there with a minute left in the game, right?
Yeah, it's very easy to figure out who is coming into the game. There's a good look at the crowd here to support Duxbury High School football. Rather, see, we're on the subject of football, Duxbury High School soccer. 31 minutes and counting 31-30 to be exact and counting. Duxbury leads at 7-0. Foster Cass, we can say comfortably now, well on his way to his 400th career win, and we hope to speak to him at the end of this game, but so doesn't about 300 other people, so maybe we'll get our chance. But we will pick up these other Duxbury varsity soccer players as this game moves along. Good job that time by DeCoste.
Yep. There's Eric Harrington harassing the Sandwich halfback. Robbie Paul on that wing over there, left fullback.
More contact, and we're going to go back the other way. Duxbury looking to improve on its already impressive record of 3 wins and a tie. Sandwich comes in at 2 wins and 2 losses. Duxbury player slipped on the play as he tried to clear it out of there, and Sandwich coming back now. Some fancy footwork, and that time Show tried to run the player off the play, and Show even tried to keep the ball alive on the sideline. A tireless worker for Duxbury, number 13, John Show.
He really just never stops running. I've seen him, I don't know how he does it.
Could it be possible he read the title of one of the books about the Celtics? Don't they ever stop running?
Right. Or Frosty's book, if you do stop running, you'll sit. Yeah, Frosty has a way of motivating the players. I think we see Pat Gillis going in now. He's going in at replacing, it could be Johnny Show. Number 28 is Pat Gillis. Pat's a good example. He's had 2 older brothers who have played for Frosty, Ryan and Chris. Chris is now a goaltender up in college, and Ryan is a player up at Westfield State. Here's Johnny getting a well-deserved rest. Number 13, Johnny Show.
Let's get a good close-up of 13 right down in front of us.
Johnny Show would make some college coach very, very happy. He's just so coachable, and again, he's just like having an extra player on the field.
You mean an extra coach?
Both. He just never stops running, and he knows what's going on out there at all times. Great natural athlete.
We've got 29 minutes remaining in tonight's game. 7-0, Duxbury on top. Oh, one of the Sandwich players went high in the air. Number 40, Eric Harrington, comes back now for Duxbury. Actually dropped it back on the field, and Jim DeCoste will get his opportunity to kick it away. And that might have been the first evidence of a wet ball here tonight. Harrington right down in front of us. Did a good job to play the body. Sandwich says, that's our ball. That's not yours, Harrington. Ball headed towards the Duxbury goal. Still being knocked around. Number 2 is there, Paul Sylvia.
Eric Harrington is one of the funniest human beings I've ever met. He's just a great kid and a lot of fun to be around.
Sandwich staying on top of this. Still working hard, and I think as a credit to their coach and their program, they haven't stopped working either, Bill.
Yep.
And, you know, they're still looking for that first goal.
Yeah, Sandwich, it's a class act. Coach Tedeschi, when he was coaching the JV team, he would, when he got the varsity job, they would bring the bus over before the varsity game and stop over and see me at the JV field. Not many coaches do that kind of thing. Whoa.
Opportunity slips through the wickets, as they say. It slips through the wickets.
Andy Nesbitt in net.
Let's pick up who has scored for Sandwich. I believe that's number 17, Corey Brown. Corey Brown gets the goal. With 28-14 to go in the game, Sandwich is on the board. Corey Brown scores.
Carl, we have a rare opportunity here. I have a young man with me right now. Come here, Charlie. Charlie Killian. Charlie Killian scored a goal that won a state championship, and I don't think he ever saw the ball go in the net. Is that right, Charlie?
Oh, absolutely.
Where was that game? Down at Greater New Bedford, right?
That is correct.
What year? Remember what year you were a senior?
83 or 82.
83, state championship, right? This tape is going to be for Frosty Cass. How about a word about Frosty?
He's done a great job with the program, and it shows by not only the banners that hang in the gym, but also by the people that have played for him.
There you go. Thank you, Charlie.
The official's call will go back the other way once again. 28 for Duxbury. Pat Gillis is out there. Tim Foley tries to send it on downfield. Foley has been in this ball this soccer game quite a bit here tonight. The officials call once again the ball right around number 9, Rob Paul, a senior. And Sandwich will come back the other way with 27 minutes left in tonight's action.
And Frosty's pretty much emptied the bench here. You get Sylvia, Gammons, and Manganello up front. Not that they're not good players, but I don't think you'll see them at in the final seconds of a state championship game. They're good kids, good players, and they're coming along.
Call goes in favor of Sandwich once again. Some fancy footwork in front, but good defense that time by 15, Manganello. And again, the call goes in favor of Sandwich. Our score was 4-0 at the half. Duxbury has added 3 more scores, one by Murphy, which completed the hat trick, another by Lawless. And the other goal, I'm not sure who will get credit for it. I'm going to call that a team goal. An interesting play as we look back on the video.
Yeah, well put. I mean, any one of 2 or 3 players could have put that in there that time. My guess will be Mike Cook was in the vicinity of the ball, but they could have gone to anybody. Now here we have another substitution as Timmy Foley is coming out. And let's see, Matt Ty went in for him.
Here's a good look at Foley. Matt Ty's dad coaches girls varsity soccer over in Carver.
Right, Matthew played for me a year ago. The interesting thing about the Frosties teams over the years is the kids who go on, they go on to college, many play in college, either intramural or varsity or whatever, and yet they come back. They come back like every game's almost a homecoming of sorts. You see 1 or 2 of them around, they come out to the field, say, hey, gee, can I kick the ball around with the kids or whatever. You know, they're always out there to be part of the ongoing saga of Duxbury soccer, which is certainly a testament, I think, to testimonial of Frosty's ability to keep these kids involved in the game.
Good play by Sandwich. Number 17, Corey Brown, has played a strong game for Sandwich here tonight, Bill. He, of course, has their only goal, but he seems to be around that ball anyway, anytime it's in the midfield area.
Oh, he has played well. Again, I like to play their goaltender. The kid gives up 7 goals, yet he still had a good game for him. Heads up. Oh, no.
Right down in front. This one goes wide. All right, we've got an opportunity to take a modest break from Chandler Field. 7-0, as you can see from our graphic. Duxbury leading convincingly. We'll be right back.
Just get your hot dogs.
Not yet. 3, 2, 1. Play back in now. There's a battle for it on the far side. Number 9 for the Dragons, Rob Paul, right around that ball. About the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Robbie Paul came off an injury I think it was his freshman year also. Uh-oh, look at this.
If this goes in, that's a tremendous
Oh, my goodness.
They don't come any sweeter and any prettier than the effort right there by Duxbury.
Paul Sylvia, of all people. Paul Sylvia used to be a defenseman, played fullback, and has made the transition up to forward. And I think Paul Sylvia may want to buy 10 copies of this tape just to prove to everybody he actually made that play.
Here's a good look at him. Number 2, Paul Sylvia, right down in front of us.
Scored by Paul Sylvia.
There he is, right there in the middle of your screen. Let's get a close-up of Paul Sylvia. What an effort there at the 23:54 mark.
Okay, Paul Sylvia is one of the quietest young men I've ever met. To try to get him to say anything is doing something.
Well,
but that was just a great play.
Well, if he wants to talk with his goals, we'll listen. What a great job there.
Yep. Well, he made the transition from being a fullback to a forward.
Staying on top of the ball. Not a very big kid, that's for sure.
No. Frosty's won state championship with big teams, small teams, medium-sized teams, you name it. And he's blended some teams together, too, to compile this incredible record. You look at some of these players, All-Americans that Frosty's had. Colin McAvoy in 78, Jeff McAvoy in 81, Stephen Cass in 82, Matt Cushing in 83, Stephen Cass in 84, John Cressman in 89. I mean, you know, the names go on and on. Great players all. And they all had one thing in common. They all played for Frosty. He's also an outstanding basketball coach, too. A lot of people would think that one coach could not have these distinctions. He also was coach of the year many times in basketball. Here goes Sylvia, coming off a goal. He's trying to set up Rick Tenney, number 22, down the wing. Broken up. Here comes Sandwich back on the attack in the blue and white stripes. Try to take a little page out of Duxbury's book with that short passing across the middle. Now they get a man outside. Here comes a shot. That would be a goal if we were playing in Australia.
Let's take a look at the scoreboard clock. This is what the fans here at home get a chance to look at. Time ticking away, and I would venture to say when we start getting down to single digits, things will get a little antsy on the sidelines and a little more exciting, and the crowd will get a little more vocal.
Yeah, it's not often you get a chance to see anybody coach 400 wins in any sport, let alone again, I keep coming back to the average. If we look at an average of 18 to 20 wins a year, do that for 24 years, that's unbelievable. Great effort by Manganello keeping that ball in. And Morgan Barber, this kid's a freshman. You're going to hear a lot about him in Duxbury soccer over the years. Another great play with a sandwiched keeper. Scott Bailey, goaltender. Another fine job. Here goes Ricky Tenney, battling Sandwich for the ball. But it's down to Jimmy DeCoste, and he usually wins those battles. Bang, 60 yards, right back towards Sandwich.
Paul Sylvia, I think, made that play prior to the ball even being made.
It's Eric Harrington.
Try to feed it in
There's
front.
a man open right in front.
I was going to say, sure is. Manganella sitting here just waiting, saying, I want my chance.
Yeah. He's a good player, good hustler, good skills. His chances will come.
Ball's out of bounds right down in front of us. 22 is there for Duxbury. Rick Tenney, he's a senior. It's his throw in.
Yeah, Ricky's like number 1 or 2 in the class, too. He's an outstanding student. Works real hard at it.
That was an interesting play on the far side.
Yep.
Sandwich and Duxbury players going head to head, and the ball went right by them both.
You hear a lot about the Duxbury offense, and heavens, if you score 8 goals, you're bound to hear a lot about the offense. But again, the play of Johnny Show and Jimmy DeCoste, here's trouble looking for a place to happen. Nope, it's going to be wide of the net. But the defense of that Frosty puts out there with DeCoste and Show as Brent Caesar comes back in the ballgame, replacing Manganello. You know, these kids are just really good college prospects for the future as well. He's going to replace Eric Harrington. Eric coming back. Oh, Eric's going to go back and play sweeper. Here's a step into the unknown. Or no, I'm sorry, Morgan's a sweeper, Eric's at right full, and Jimmy DeCoste comes out. I was about to say Jimmy DeCoste and Johnny Show, the great job they do along with Greg DeCenzo, really keeps Duxbury in these games all the time. Watch the play of Morgan Barber here, Carl, the center defender back here, the sweeper back. He's only a freshman, and he's played very, very steady soccer for Duxbury so far this year.
And for the benefit of our people at home, Barber will be wearing number 25. Right in the middle of the screen is 40, Eric Harrington, the senior. It's his kick. He lofts it downfield, and a good head that time by Sandwich to send it back the other way. You see more and more of that in high school soccer, don't you? They're using all parts of their bodies.
Yep.
And I think more and more consistently we're seeing them use the head too.
Oh yeah, the game anymore, you know, the kids are just so good. It's become, yeah, if you can't do those things, you really can't play.
Number 26, no, check that, that's 29 it looks like.
Pat Gillis, I think, tripped him up there.
All right, I'll try again. How about 28?
Okay, close enough.
Came up with a little bit of a hip check on that last play.
Pat's an interesting story. He played forward and halfback for me. He'd been a goaltender before that, and he's now being used as a fullback. Frosty utilizing that Gillis speed. He's really got A lot of quick feet, as did his brothers as well.
Time ticking away. We still have 18 minutes and 13 seconds remaining here tonight. It's 8-0. Duxbury on top. I'm Carl Pratt along with Bill Wilhelm and Harry Taylor. We hope you're enjoying tonight's coverage of Duxbury Green Dragon varsity soccer and what will develop into Foster Cass's 400th career victory.
Nice play by Andy Nesbitt coming out of the net. Frosty doesn't like the goaltenders coming out of the net much. If you come out, you better come away with the ball. And Andy knows that only too well. Nice play by Andy. Zach C., I believe, is a senior this year. And so when he graduates, it might be the Andy Nesbitt show next year in net. He'll be the returning, he's a junior this year.
Zach C. in his second year with his team, and it's a good opportunity, as you mentioned, for Coach Cass to get some substitutions in there, and that means all the way back into your keeper.
Yep. Uh-oh.
There's a situation right in front, and this one just goes wide. A lot of contact right around there.
Yeah, that ball tends to act like a magnet, especially in that box up there. To the credit of both teams, and both teams had a player near the ball, though. I mean, Sandwich had defenders, and I think it was Duxbury's forward might have been Rick Tenney going for that one. Here comes the corner kick.
This one goes high and wide. A battle for it in the corner. 22 is Tenney.
There's another case. Ricky Tenney's brother, Al, played center half on a team that lost in the state finals. In that same, there's a shot.
Oh, great save that time by Scott Bailey.
Another great play by that keeper. This kid's gonna black and blue all over him by the time he gets home.
Gillis battling at the middle of the field. Number 3, Matt Ty, is there as well. A chilly night here at Chandler Field in Duxbury, but plenty of heat on the field, if you will, that's for sure, especially from the Duxbury offense. With 16 minutes to go here tonight, it's 8-1. Duxbury on top. Duxbury built a 7-0 advantage before Sandwich scored, and then Paul Sylvia added the 8th goal for the Dragons.
I see Frosty sitting down on the bench now. He was talking to Johnny Show and Zach C., Tommy Lawless, and Andy Taylor, and it's good to see him relaxed here. He's earned this win. I know there's a little bit of apprehension before the ball game tonight, but it's basically over in the first half.
Let's take a look at the crowd once again as we can ask Harry to pan to the left, and you may see some recognizable faces there, and you may not, but what you do see is some tremendous support for Duxbury High School soccer.
Well, Carl, you and I both know you can go to some schools, you know, you don't see this kind of crowd out here for their football games. And Duxbury's got a good athletic community. They do support their teams. And Duxbury soccer is something special. Fans didn't like that call. They thought Mark Gammons made a nice play to come away with the ball. Also on the bench, I see Chris Brockmeyer. He's out with an injury. He was in an automobile accident about a week or so ago. Chris is in the sweater on the bench with a baseball cap in civilian clothes. He won't be playing. Drew Shoemaker, I think that is wearing a sweatshirt on the bench. And the other fellows with the hats on, I can't tell who they are with the capes over their head.
22 on the Duxbury side. Tenney goes up and over the defender. Everyone getting a piece of this action here tonight from the Duxbury side. Coach Cass had that opportunity to clear his bench maybe a lot earlier than he would have thought.
Yeah. So, hey, Sandwich is a good team. They're going to win some games before it's over. And it'll be interesting. I see all the reporters now. I see Dick Roach from the Brockton Enterprise there, another reporter from probably the Patriot Ledger, as they're getting ready to interview Frosty as soon as the game is over here tonight.
We've got 13:50 remaining here tonight. It's 8-1, Duxbury on top. To recap the scoring, Steve McClellan got Duxbury on the board. Let's wait and see if this is cleared out of there so we don't miss a score. Now as it goes to the corner, McClellan got Duxbury on the board at the 36-12 mark with an assist going to John Show, making it 1-0. Matt Murphy came back with 2 out of his 3 goals, one at the 18-minute mark, another at the 14:29 mark, and Just before the end of the first half at the 5:52 mark, Brett Caesar scored. He's the sophomore. He made it 4-0. We had a strange goal at the 34:45 mark of the second half, making it 5-0. We'll call that a team goal. We've discussed that already. At the 32:53 mark, Murphy got his third goal, completing the hat trick with a beautiful move from the right side. Lawless then got the 7th goal for Duxbury at the 32:12 mark, and that was set up on a nice assist by Murphy, who showed some unselfishness. Sandwich came back with a goal by Corey Brown, and then Paul Sylvia added the 8th goal of the game.
Now, you can't be a selfish player and play for Frosty. It just doesn't fit the system. You can't hang on to the ball at this level. You've really got to pass the ball and move, and that's what Frosty capitalizes on.
Mark Gammons tried to send it in, but it was deflected to the right. And Gammons is right there to deflect the effort by Sandwich.
And Mark's becoming a better player every time I see him. His skills develop every single day.
Harrington battling in close. Eric Harrington, number 40 for the Dragons. Nice play that time by Sandwich to knife the ball through. Caesar tries to send it back the other way. Matt Ty out there. Manganello over near the far side. Ty will have the throw in. Battled down the sidelines by 19, Mark Gammons.
Gammons staying with it. Keeper's out. Look out. Ooh.
Way out away from the net that time was Scott Bailey. We haven't seen him that far out of the net, or at least it seems further, maybe because it's on the other side of the net. Harrington heads it back down. Sylvia just out of his reach. A lot of spin on that ball right now, Bill.
Oh, yeah. Game looks easy from up here, but it's a little bit different when you're down in the field. The ball's spinning, you got a little bit of dew, the ball's a little bit wet. Not to mention the fact you have a defender bearing down on you about 40 miles an hour.
10 minutes and 45 seconds to go here tonight. Well, we've got an opportunity. Let's swing right to the middle of the field and look at what somebody did out here from the boosters, or one of the athletes, 400. And that certainly has been our theme here tonight at Duxbury. Head coach Foster Cass going for his 400th career coaching victory. And now here come the regulars back into the ball game for Duxbury.
Yeah, I think for us, we let the regulars finish out the last 10 minutes perhaps, and see what we have out here. Williams is back in, DeCoste, DeCenzo.
And I think on the Sandwich side, Coach Tedeschi has got to applaud that effort.
Yeah.
He knows that the dogs were pulled off, as they say in this game.
Oh, sure.
But we still have a very young season. You got to keep these regulars in there too and keep them sharp.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I've seen many a Frosty team with games that were over by halftime. You only have so many kids out there to play to begin with. He's telling them, even though they're up 5 or 6 goals, all right, you can play, but you can't shoot unless the ball's, beyond 30 yards out. Things like that. Fans may not realize he's not trying to run scores up.
If we replayed each and every goal, there's certainly situations that, Duxbury just capitalized on. Good
here we go, it's Murphy.
Murphy looking for his 4th. There's the unselfish pass in front. And a good job once again by Scott Bailey. Murphy streaking down that sideline. Boy,
yeah,
he puts himself in a position, doesn't he?
Yeah, notice that pass was right on the ground, too. It wasn't, some waist-high bullet for the next man coming through. If the guy could have caught up to the ball, whoever it might have been would have a nice position to kick that thing.
There's Show once again, and Show right down in front of us. Gave us our first opportunity to see a player slip on the wet turf. He kicked that ball about 35, 40 yards and paid the price, and he's limping a little bit as he gets up from the turf.
Yeah, I've seen Johnny take so many hits and so forth. You wonder how in the world he's staying on his feet when games are over, and he's just one great athlete. Very durable.
Wallace right there in case Bailey loses control. Not only is Cap Sports pleased to be out covering this game here tonight, we notice a couple of big-time TV cameras right in front of us. Channel 5 in the blue jacket, Channel 7 in the dark Boston Marathon jacket. They're waiting for their 11 o'clock highlights.
Very well deserved. That many times before there was cable TV, we'd be at Frosty's house watching the scores come in and just see a 30-second clip, that maybe even 10-second clip of a Duxbury soccer game years ago.
Here's Murphy streaking down the sideline. He's got two teammates in front. He'll get control. He sends it in front. Actually, nobody was there. Foley coming up now, 14.
Yep, Foley should have had the ball, actually. It was a great play by Murphy.
7:26 and counting now.
Johnny Show banging it down the middle.
Boy, and that came within a whisker of sneaking past the last guy there for Sandwich.
Yep.
And there were 3 Duxbury players waiting to capitalize. We're inside 7 minutes now. The anticipation will start to build before too long, I'm sure, Bill.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Be interesting to hear the countdown at the end of this game, too. There's Bailey with his 500th save, I think, tonight.
Oh, a lot of contact there.
Yep.
Sandwich player went twisting in the opposite direction. Ball kind of died out there for a moment. Oh, nice pass by one of the Sandwich players.
Nice little run by Sandwich here, copying a page out of Duxbury's short passing book.
Cosenzo sends it back upfield to McClellan. McClellan, by the way, got the game's first goal. The game winner to this point, if the score remains the same, will belong to Matt Murphy, who has a hat trick to his credit. He's a senior captain, and this is his 4th year with the team.
And he's been playing since he was a freshman, went right to the varsity, and he just has tremendous skills. There's a shot. Ooh!
Great effort that time by Bailey. Completely outstretched to his left.
Notice Murphy's shot with the left foot was on the net. It wasn't one of those howitzers that's going to go up through the uprights and not have a chance to score.
Well, this time the ball goes past the goalie. Unfortunately, somebody was there to clear it, but we've got an injured Sandwich player on the play.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody took a, well, there was a collision of sorts. I don't know what got him. It looks like he's holding his face. And boy, from a coaching standpoint, you never want to see that.
All right, as they tend to this injured player, let's take a look at the cheerleaders right down in front of us here for Duxbury. We should remind you, you're watching a feature presentation of Cap Sports. Our count right now, Duxbury 8, Sandwich 1. Our coverage will continue, so stay with us.
I'm Bob Newmeyer from Channel 4 WBZ. You know, I've been lucky enough to cover Super Bowls, Celtic championship games, Stanley Cup finals, the whole ball of wax. But if you want to see a good high school game, tune in to Cap Sports.
Okay, play back in. Welcome back to our coverage, everybody, of Duxbury High School soccer. Just 3 minutes and 27 seconds remaining here tonight. Murphy around that ball for Duxbury.
Just noticing some of the skills on the Sandwich players. I mean, they're well coached. You don't see a lot of kids out there trying to just blast the ball down the field. They're trying to do the right things, volley it over the oncoming offensive people from Duxbury. It's over using the inside of their foot and so forth, doing a lot of very skillful things. But they're just outmanned here tonight. This is not a bad Duxbury team by any stretch of the imagination. It's a real strong team. Frosty had about 8 or 9 starters coming back this year, and they know that Frosty system. And boy, I'll tell you, when it's worked like it has tonight, you get multiple scoring opportunities, and all you can do is put the ball in the net. You're going to do fine.
Well, one of the things we should certainly point out is your efforts, Bill. You coached the JV program. You've been involved with it for 20 years. Give yourself a pat on the back, or I'll give it to you, because you obviously know the system, and you're getting the kids ready for the varsity level, and so you're obviously working close with the coach.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. Believe me, I've learned an awful lot about the game of soccer from coaching with Frosty. But the game is different. When you go from the JV to the varsity, the intensity of the game picks up quite a bit. And a lot of kids who may have, like, for example, been a starting forward for one name comes to mind with Jason Laramie, who was my leading scorer, but when he got to the varsity, his skills were better suited to being a fullback, and Frosty put him back there, and he became a very good fullback, good defensive player rather than offensive player. But and again, Frosty was winning games a long time before I came along, since about 4 or 5 years before I got involved. And he's just a great coach, you know, from the first day of double sessions all the way through to the strategies for each team, and he does a fine job.
Well, you can have all the success you want at the varsity level, but if you don't have good feeder programs, starting with the youth, starting with freshmen, starting with JVs, somebody's got to get the kids ready.
Well, he has, okay, we've done a pretty good job getting some of the people up there, but, you know, all the pressure is on the varsity coach. He's got to, you know, put all those
He's
people
the
in
focal
place.
point.
Yeah, he's got to put those people in the right places and go from there.
We're inside 2 minutes now, as this is a rarity, Bill. As you know, normally they stop the clock. Let's swing the camera slowly to the left if we can. Normally they stop the clock at the 2-minute mark and the official time is kept on the field. This is a rare exception. Let's take a look at the time ticking away here now. I don't think we'll see any more scoring. Time ticking away here now.
400 wins, folks. That's an awful lot of bus rides and victories and sleepless nights and game films and tears and sweat and you name it. A lot of double sessions in the summer, a lot of soccer camps, a lot of preparation. 400 wins.
And let me run over some quick impressive numbers. He'll be 400 wins, 35 losses, 27 ties. He's got 20 league titles to his credit. He had a string from 1975 to 84 where he won consecutive championships. 6 state titles. The last one was in 88, 76, 78, 80, 83, 84, 88. Let's look at Foster Cass, who's getting the old-fashioned dunking. And this isn't the kind of night you want that, but I'm sure it all feels quite warm to him now. Bill Wilhelm, it was an awful lot of fun. We appreciate your insight to Duxbury High School soccer and working alongside. We needed your efforts tonight. They were greatly appreciated.
Carl, my pleasure. I've always enjoyed our association in football and the other sports throughout the years, and I'm just glad I can be part of this special night for Frosty. The greatest soccer coach I've ever been involved with, and with all due respect to the folks in Needham and Wellesley and all their great teams, there's none better than Frosty. A great, great job year in, year out.
You can see everybody clapping. Everybody's happy for their head coach. The players are around him. He's talking it with everybody, and the officials are there. And, of course, that might be the youngster you talked about. The field is named after one of his family members.
Greg Chandler, yep. 400 wins.
They're going to go through now and shake hands, and I'm sure these Sandwich players know what happened here tonight. They'll congratulate Coach Foster Cass. It's interesting, I know him as Foster Cass. As a reporter, you've worked so close with him, you get the pleasure and the honor of calling him by the nickname.
Yep, Frosty.
8-1 was the final count. Let's not lose sight of the fact that his team had to play well tonight and post this victory. We hope to talk to him when he gets through talking with the various reporters who have a bit more of a deadline than we do.
Yeah, it was a nice win for Frosty. Coach Tedeschi knows that you know, he was up against a superior team tonight. I mean, Sandwich is a good team, but this Duxbury team has really put on a show tonight. And
let's pick up the PA system.
So you gotta work with him day in, day out. Know how hard he's worked on this over the years. There's Debbie Brooks, the athletic director for Duxbury.
The first coach from Duxbury High School to win 400 games. That's pretty special. I have a little something for Mr. Cass from the athletics department. Carol Cass, are you around? Come on up.
A little engraved pen holder. I believe it says 400 wins on. There's Carol. She's been there for about 400 of them, too.
To Carol from the team, a bouquet. Greg DeCenzo and John Show come up, please?
As the captains, Murphy, DeCenzo, and Show.
On behalf of the team, we'd like to thank Mr. Cass for, myself the last 4 years, and Matt and John. But for all the new kids on the team, I'm sure that Mr. Cass has had an impact on them as well. We're presenting him with a ball here. We're all going to sign it, and I don't know what it says in the front. Presented to Mr. Cass on his 400th win. So congratulations.
Look at the crowd. Big crowd here tonight.
Thank all of you. I can't tell you how overcome I am that you're all here. So many kids have played on this field, and we've had such great teams. Not much to my credit, but all of the great athletes that have come through Duxbury. We've always had fantastic support from all of the parents, the adults, and I don't know what to say. I'm probably, for one of the few times in my life, I'm really speechless. I love you all. Thank you very much.
Well deserved.
Foster Cash, you heard the speech. He's quite pleased. Everybody's pleased for him. They're all happy it's over, and I'm sure it's a big load off his shoulders, Bill.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, he paces those sidelines during these games, and I don't know how many miles he's walked during those 400 wins, but he's really worked very, very hard over these years. 24 years and 400 wins, folks.
Okay,
every day.
As we look at Foster Cass being interviewed by the local newspapers, let's take this opportunity to recap the game and get back to the focal point of how Duxbury actually scored their 8 goals tonight. Steve McClellan got things started at the 36-12 mark with a nice assist from John Show.
Yeah, it was a nice goal off the throw-in. Johnny Show's got a real strong throw, and he can put the ball right in front of the net. It's a set play, and for Steve McClellan to use his head to head the ball back in is something they've worked on, and that's a young man who always used his left foot before, and Frosty made him a complete player.
Goals 2 and 3 came off the foot of Matt Murphy. At the 18-minute mark, he made it 2-0. Murphy added his second goal of the game at the 14:29 mark, and before the half ended, sophomore Brett Caesar scored on a nice play at the 5:52 mark.
Yeah, we said Murphy was going to bust loose for a couple of goals tonight, because you could tell early that Sandwich just couldn't control him. Duxbury was getting those through balls, those passes up to him, and he's going to put those things in the back of the net if you're not on top of him.
So our score at the break was 4-0 in the second half. An interesting goal made it 5-0. That came at the 34:45 mark. I'm not sure who got the credit, but it was a good team goal. It was an interesting call. The official right on top of it, he deserves credit for not missing it.
Yep.
At the 32:53 mark, Murphy completed the hat trick, and he made it 6-0. And then he set up Lawless, Tom Lawless, for the 7th goal at the 32:12 mark. Great unselfishness by Murphy on that play.
Oh yeah, that's a real trademark of Frosty's teams over the years, is the forwards and the halfbacks. They work so well together, and they don't really care who gets the credit as long as the ball ends up in the net.
Corey Brown spoiled things tonight. He, from the Sandwich side, finally scored at the 28:14 mark, making it 7-1. And Paul Sylvia, with a nifty little play over the back of his shoulder, scored at the 23:54 mark to complete tonight's scoring for a final of 8-1.
It was a great game for Duxbury, and big win, obviously, for Coach Cass. He gets that 400th off his mind. Now he can look forward to the rest of the Atlantic Coast League season. And I take my hat off to Sandwich, too. They played well. And Corey Brown and the goaltender had good nights in spite of an 8-1 score on the scoreboard.
Okay, stay with us. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll have a final word right after this.
I'm Channel 56 Sports Director Michael Barkan. I cover the U.S. Open for USA Network. I've been to the Olympics, covered that for CBS Sports. But you know, one thing very special to me, when I'm around the Plymouth area, I always watch the Game of the Week on Cap Sports.
Well, a monumental effort here tonight for Foster Cass and the Duxbury Green Dragons. And Foster, obviously, it's one you wanted to get out of the way, but it's a special win tonight.
Oh, it's a great win, because I never had any idea 20 years ago we would ever be here in the same field. And a lot of these kids have been here for a while, 2, 3, 4 years starters, and it was great to do it with them. They're an excellent team and a terrific bunch of kids.
I had a great pleasure calling the game with your good friend Bill Wilhelm. He put such a great insight to this program, and it goes way back. It's not just about today's players or yesterday's players. It's about a great tradition and a great family atmosphere here.
It's amazing that this has gone on for, this is the 24th year, and it went on a couple of years before when I was JV coach before I started, and it's amazing that the players keep coming and coming and coming, and all I have to do is put them together. I mean, my job is pretty easy.
What has made it so special, do you think?
Well, I don't know. We play offense. We try to play offense, and we always seem to have people who can do that. And we've had dozens of families and All-Americans and people who've scored 100, 150 goals, and I can't go wrong with people like that.
You can get the 150 goal scorers. You can certainly get talented teams. You can get powerful teams. But through the course of 24 years, some of the credit has to go to the coach. What's your secret?
Well, I'm not sure I have a secret. I mean, I do what comes naturally, and I yell a lot, and I know that first thing I tell them in August, don't take anything I say personally, but I'm going to try to get you to do things that you don't think you can do. And so I push him as hard as I possibly can to get the most out of him.
Special night for Duxbury soccer, special night for Foster Cass. We appreciate your time. Congratulations. Go get 400 more.
Okay, well, we'll try. Thanks. Thanks very much.
Foster Cass has joined us here on our post-game activities. Let's sneak Bill Wilhelm in here for one final note before we have to take off. Weather conditions sometimes take a priority with our equipment. Bill, we got to run. How about a final word?
Final word is it's just really been a pleasure for me. I think Frosty summed it all up very well. We didn't know 20 years ago, certainly I had no idea that they'd be using this field, let alone have 400 wins, 24 years later. But Frosty's such a great coach, and he's very modest about it. But I'll tell you, he's taken a lot of teams that you didn't think would win 5 games, and they've won 18, 20 games, won league titles, and the record speaks for itself. And I've learned so much from him. Everybody thinks they know how to coach. Stay around Frosty Cass. He'll teach you the game of soccer, and I've been very lucky to be the beneficiary of his generosity and his years of learning.
Well, it certainly has been a lot of fun for me personally and for Cap Sports to be part of this very special night. Once again, the final score here tonight was 8-1, Duxbury in convincing fashion over Sandwich. For Foster Cass and his varsity soccer team, for Harry Taylor on the camera, and my broadcast partner, Bill Wilhelm, I'm Carl Pratt saying thanks for watching, everybody.